welcome back to Sunday Square Off. The Republican-controlled legislature is tinkering with your vote again. Every 10 years, the state redraws congressional district boundaries based on the new census. That will happen again in 2020. Arizona is likely to get a 10th congressional seat out of it. But Republicans don't like the way a voter-approved independent commission redrew the maps in 2010, so they're trying to fix that. Roy Herrera, did Republicans get the shaft in 2010 when the maps were redrawn?
If by getting the shaft means that we got competitive and fair districts, then yes, because I think the outcome was fair as it was designed to be. The bill in the legislature, as you mentioned, Republicans are backing this because they want to, in effect, dismantle the commission by making it an even numbered body, which is going to mean that they're never going to come to an agreement. That's just a reality in our partisan times. And then, of course, that would revert back to the legislature to decide where the maps are going to be drawn. And I imagine the maps are going to be drawn as they've been drawn in other parts of the country, favorable to Republicans.
So the commission was created by voters, right? Correct? Does the legislature have to go back to voters to approve what they're trying to do right now?
That's right. That's right. Under the Voter Protection Act, they'd have to go back and ask the voters to change it, which is the saving grace here, I think, because ultimately I don't think the voters are going to make that change.
You know, Bram, you just can't take politics out of politics. I'm sorry.
No,
now,
really?
I was a reporter during 2002 or 2001 for the original redistricting commission, and I'll tell you, the amount of politics played during that time was it was the same as any backroom deals. And in 2011, the districts were drawn in the chairwoman's living room. She's the one who did it in her house and then brought it to the commission. So, you know what? Politics is going to be played in this process no matter what. I don't know if this bill is the right way to go to take politics out of it, but this is a politicized process, and there is no way to end that.
Are these maps unfair now to Republicans?
I don't know if they're unfair. I just don't know if they were drawn in a public way, the way the voters intended. I believe that the 2001 maps were, though I got to say they did favor Republicans because the Republican Party at the time was kind of Johnny on the spot, and they did a very good job. In 2010, the Democratic Party did a much better job of getting their people on the commission. I give them props in 2010. Give the Republican Party props in 2001. And now, I don't know how it will be. I mean, it's the parties have to do the work now to create something good for 20.
Got to set themselves up to get what they want in a few years.
Yes.
Well, it's going to make it even more politicized, this bill would, because it changes also how the commission members are selected.
Right.
So it takes the judiciary out of this and ultimately leaves the legislature in charge of just deciding who gets on it.
I mean, look how political it was back in 2011 about having who the independent member was going to be. Yeah. That was a big problem.
Okay, want to move on. Voters may get a chance to decide on whether we should get more of our energy from renewables over the next 12 years. There's a ballot initiative in the works that would force utilities here to provide 50% of their energy from renewables. They had their rollout last week. Hit some bumps.
Yeah, they had the rollout last week.
Does this have a chance?
Well, let me get the details. Roy, do you have details of this? There are no details yet. There are no details. They've done the rollout. There are no details. Does it exempt SRP and the rural co-ops? We don't know. We don't know to what year. They say 2030. I've seen also 2035 that we must have 50% through renewables.
One ad,
Who knows?
It's funded by big money Democratic billionaire Tom Steyer, who could put $5, $10, $15 million behind this.
Well, ultimately, Barry doesn't like press conferences. He's not a part of himself, so that's
okay.
Wow.
Keep it clean, boys.
Wow.
But no, I'm just kidding. But
this from an attorney.
We know what the principal provision is. I mean, we know that it's going to raise the renewable energy standard to 50% by 2030. We're going to get the language soon. The proponents of the proposition, are making the argument that raising the renewable energy standard is going to make for a healthier a future for America, for Arizonans because of reducing pollution. And then in addition to that, I think what the initiative recognizes is something that we all know, which is that in Arizona, we have an abundant resource, which is the sun, and the renewable energy economy is going to come regardless. It's happening regardless. So we have to choose whether Arizona is going to be at the center of it and the jobs and the tax revenue that comes with it.
I'm excited to see how much my bill is going to go up if this passes. I think that is going to be the deciding factor.
Just a preview of this huge debate. If this makes it on the ballot, millions will be spent.
That's just my bill is going to go up millions. You're right.
Well, okay. That's what the Chamber of Commerce is saying right now. But of course, they said a lot of terrible things about the minimum wage.
All right. We'll have a lot more chances to talk about this in coming weeks and months. Roy Herrera, Barrett Marson, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you.